I'm sure you've noticed the title of this video is misspelled, deliberately so, to make a point about what conservatism is in the truest sense. And this is more than just semantics. The word conservative means a commitment to conserving something, but not all those who've been called conservative around the world have tried to conserve good things. In the Soviet Union, the so-called conservatives were those who were conserving the totalitarian state by crushing latter-day attempts to reform it. In the Middle East, the conservative Islamists are those who conserve the letter of the Quran law, including its call for jihad. In Cuba, Raul Castro is a conservative, for he cares only about conserving, regardless of their disastrous application, the Marxist principles that his brother employed to transform Cuba more than 50 years ago. So it's up to American conservatives to get a whole lot better at explaining exactly what they are trying to conserve. Conservative is a description many politicians want to claim for themselves, but the conservative or liberty movement has splintered. Yes, traditional conservatives, neoconservatives, and libertarians continue to fight amongst themselves for the soul of the movement. But one thing about which virtually all conservatives agree is that the tent must be widened by taking the message to a larger audience, including blacks, Hispanics, Asians, young people, and single women, the core leftist constituencies in both the last election and the left's vision for future dominance. Thanks in large part to the systematic and successful class warfare conducted by the left with the aid and comfort of a spectacularly incurious and complicit mainstream media. Those voters who form the leftist base view conservative as a dirty word, suggestive of cranky, greedy bigots. In response, conservatives and libertarians of all stripes should agree and communicate with great clarity that what we are conserving are the founding principles, not those who develop the principles or those who claim to embrace those principles, but the principles themselves. Consider the freedoms guaranteed in the Constitution, speech, assembly, self-defense, and the rest, and its protection of private property, checks and balances, enumerated powers, and other brilliant formations based on a realistic reading of human nature. And consider that the embrace of these principles left an unimpeachable legacy by transforming this colonial backwater into the world's greatest superpower, not by the force which marked the rise of previous superpowers, but by the opposite, the organizing principle that undergirds all of our other founding principles, liberty. If we actually, really, truly believe in ordered liberty based on these founding principles, then it follows that we believe those principles are every bit as valuable to leftist constituencies as they are to the conservative base. In fact, perhaps even more valuable, because those who vote for leftists have for the most part not put these principles to work in their own lives, and thus have not experienced the benefits of liberty, instead becoming captive and dependent on the progressive principles that are an affront to liberty. Look, conservatives and libertarians will never embrace progressive principles, but wayward leftists can most definitely embrace the founding principles if we can demonstrate what a positive difference those principles will make in their lives. We must be able to drive home the fundamental point that socialism has never succeeded, never, but true liberty always succeeds in the lives of both individuals and nations.